can't say enough good things about positive progression for Wes. He's on this team play. Awesome.
I just didn't know if that was starting hot for him to reach, them and reach out in years.
I'm sorry, it's certainly okay if he does that, but I'd rather them do that than violate, yeah, as in violate county policy.
Got it off my shoulders.
What?
Didn't you?
No.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's 6 p.m., so we'll call the meeting in order for the Upson County Board of Commissioners for Tuesday, February 8th. If you would at this time, please rise for our invocation, followed by our pledge. And before we do invocation, and I'm going to try to get through this, I might get choked up from time to time, but it goes without saying that we're missing somebody here tonight. We all got together and said, how do we remember Gary? So if so there's a seat reserved for him tonight, so that he is noticeably absent here, and we wouldn't need that to know that he's not here. It's just obvious, and we're certainly going to miss him. So I guess it's just appropriate at this point. We'll do the invocation, but I'd like to have a moment of silence to remember our friend Gary. Thank you. Heavenly Father, we come here today and ask for your blessings on this body and this community. We remember a really good friend who did a lot for this community, and we ask for your continued blessings on his family. Lord, we hope that everything that we do is pleasing to you and is great for our community. These things we ask. Amen. Amen. Will you join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So before I even sit down, next on the agenda is, we worked really hard on this, we collectively, our staff, and Russ was a big part of our staff to make that happen. We're just going to take a few minutes to pause, and it's probably more than a few minutes if you choose to go out and check out the new ambulances that are going to be serving our community. We're just going to not adjourn. We'll just take pause our meeting, and we'll go out and meet with Larry, and he probably has a couple of staff members out there to show us the equipment they're going to serve our community with. So at this point, we'll pause. Jessica, I don't know if we can pause this thing, or we just, just let it run, or whatever.
Hope you don't ever have to ride.
That's what we just said. So Pascal, you don't think you're gonna need it either?
If I need it, I won't remember what it looked like. So.
I don't know what the ones we have now.
What are you doing here tonight?
I'm just came to support Kenyatta, Macintosh Trails.
Oh, okay, good. How's Mr. Danny?
Well, after, let's see, December, all of January, and we're now in February, we finally have an appointment with a neurologist.
Took you that long?
It's that long.
Good.
I don't know what happened, but anyway, he called on a daily basis. We know the names of whoever answers the phone in Macon, and all their numbers. But I went last week and at the doctor's office, and I said they still don't have his records. And I stood there until she sent it to all 3 fax numbers in Macon. And so they finally got his records.
Well, that's good. That's,
But anyway, so.
sorry it takes so long to do stuff like
It,
that.
it's aggravating, you know, and we want a diagnosis,
Right,
you know, so then we'll know what to do.
exactly.
So, and it's getting him down because, you know, there he's trying to do the sound and key up the music and he shakes so bad.
Well, it's always a difficult thing to swallow when you know something's wrong. Either they can't tell you what's wrong, or number 2, you can't get into the place you need to go.
Right, yeah.
That's gotta be depressing.
So, you know, it's an answer prayer, at least we're getting to go. So,
When's the appointment?
it's Thursday in Macon, and we're not seeing who we thought we were going to, and I forget now what he said. But it's Dr. Roche, it's neurological, I can't get the word out, associates there in Macon.
Well, good. That's,
So, and they told him it'll take more than one appointment.
yeah, they'll
To,
do the lead in and all the history and all. They've got all his records, and then they will start doing the tests, I guess, to find out.
so we're ready for some answers. So, how are y'all doing?
Everything's fine.
Oh, good.
We tune in every Sunday. I see Charles every now and then. He'll stop by the office. I said, look, we plan on coming back one day.
Well, your seat's still empty. It's waiting on you.
Hey there, how you doing?
All right, you?
Doing well, thank you. I heard Charles comment that I guess you have to associate it with COVID, but although these pleas that the people are showing up, apparently the percentages are pretty substantial as far as people not coming. Is that?
Sunday was probably the best it's been, but yeah, there have been Sundays, I don't know that we had 30. I mean, it just was
Yeah.
very empty, you know.
Well, hopefully that'll pick back up.
How you doing?
Doing well, how about you?
Doing good. They're leaving all them new play parties, ain't they?
I'll hear about it. I might see the inside of one of them before any of them do.
I hope not.
I hope not too, but you never know these days.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Did you take a tour? Did you go in?
I just looked at it. And
They look nice.
they do.
I wouldn't know what I was looking at, so.
No. A lot of money.
Teachers meeting on Thursday.
Just the contents in it is a lot of money.
And I'm supposed to take
Yeah.
hours this week.
There's probably
My
more
husband gets his
money in the
appointment.
contents than there is in the money.
No.
Somebody else will do it this Thursday, because we're going to meet.
Yeah, you can't miss those. They're hard to get, you know.
Yeah, and it's strong, so you thought.
So, are they planning on
Okay.
Ocean County
When I first met
having
you,
their
it was 2 separate systems. but
They
it
contracted with
was
this group,
That's why they call it Ocean.
which was kind of a milestone. They told us that
primarily.
they didn't think they'd be able to do that, but
I taught in the middle
with the
school.
perseverance of some
But
folks,
after I retired,
it turned out,
I taught in all the schools.
I know we worked on the ambulance agreement, so I think it's effective. I'm not real sure if it has already started or it's about to start. At least we got ambulance service.
All that training and stuff, yeah. That's nice.
And even if you had behavioral problems, you only had them one day.
Mm-hmm, we can move
But you know,
on.
for a
That's
county the
right.
size of us and being on that ambulance service, that's a scary proposition, isn't it?
Well, you know,
Like
In this field.
with,
If you ever just sat and listened to a scammer one day at
I
the
forgot
calls that
exactly
go
what
out,
you did.
So I've always been at
Right.
Macintosh Tree.
And-
like-
Oh, so that's been.
Yes, ma'am. So literally, I graduated with my master's in social work and this was my first job. Like, I mean, I didn't know that jobs,
I
like
think all of it
books
do a
and college,
heck of a
stuff like that,
job.
but my career.
Some of the
This is the
response
only thing I've
times,
ever done.
community work,
So I started
not
literally,
real good, but
Right.
entry level.
I mean, they were servicing
In
more than us in
2003.
Kelly.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's
'cause I hear them all
in
the
those
time, 'cause I
Macintosh
got a
Trail.
scam.
I got,
And I
in
just
2007, I got
more or
my
less had it.
license to teach DUI school.
And it's
So
amazing
I,
if
had
it's
to
I
something
work
remember
not,
seeing that on
Yes, so I did that for
Close
like
home
12
or-
years. I'm still
They won't-
active, but
I
I
don't
haven't been
pay no
doing it.
attention.
Not
It's
real
like a
volleyball.
railroad track.
I
Right.
don't, we have volleyball every week.
But if something's
So, and
close
the DUI
by,
schools
then
on
we get my
weekends,
attention.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday
I mean,
night.
a lot of times I hear it go off and
Does it?
Okay. I think he's still
they
does.
come for.
Never had to have it like that.
Yes. But it's long, makes for a long weekend. You can't do anything else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this has always been it.
That's
Mhm.
it's good.
Mhm.
I just, I'm amazed at all you managed to do and have children.
Yeah. I couldn't do it without my husband.
Yeah.
Definitely a tag team effort.
Yeah.
Because not like tonight, my youngest she has drum lessons every Tuesday, so he took her drum lessons. So we, and tomorrow, she's 10 tomorrow. So Robin excused me from finance committee because we're, having her little celebration,
Yeah.
family, but then this weekend we're having her big birthday party at King Utopia. My baby, she's my baby. My oldest will be 12 this year. We're having to do a party on Friday. She has a volleyball tournament Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
To work it all in. So Haskell is the attorney.
Okay. The face is the name.
Yeah.
Here they come.
Sounds like it. You didn't want to tour it?
Come on by. Chester. Thank you for all the work.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, they're very well. Always done.
Larry, come back in.
I wouldn't know what I was looking at.
I don't know what I see.
Don't wonder about
This one on it.
Lid long enough.
You gonna be somewhere like that. Boy, you live long enough, you're gonna die.
Live and learn, die and do it all.
Yes.
If you hurt bad enough, you don't care.
That's right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
All right, that was, I think Mr. Piper's got Larry pulled aside out there, but, you know, this obviously is state-of-the-art stuff, and, you know, I think it's going to serve our community very well, so we're happy to welcome them to our community, and they stand up Tuesday? Monday. When do they start? 14th.
That's
Monday's the 14th, so, yeah, they take over Monday.
I think they backed it up to Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Looking forward to it. It's good to see some of our local subject matter experts part of the team right there, so, anyway. Okay, next on the agenda are public comments. When I call your name, if you would, just please come forward, either side, state your name and your address for the record, and you have 5 minutes. So, Mr. Biggs.
Sir, thanks, sir.
Come on up here, sir, please.
My name is Christopher Biggs. I live at 275 Marcy Drive here in Thomaston. I'm here to represent the citizens of Lincoln Park and I guess Upson County as a whole. We're here to talk about the future of the Empty Word Community Center. Of course, as you all know, there was a terrible break-in and everything down there just really got destroyed. You know, and it has sickened the community as a whole. You know, that facility down there is really, it is a whole sacred memory for the citizens of Lincoln Park and Upson County. You know, we have never ever had anything like this to happen down there. The whole existing time that it have been in place as a community center or just a gymnasium about itself. What did the person or persons get from doing this destruction down there? We don't know. We don't know. What was taken was petty stuff, water, you know, kids supplies. So it makes you wonder what was the mindset of the person or persons that actually committed such a heinous crime. 4.5 months from now, you know, we're supposed to be starting our after-school summer camp down there. You know, we don't have a backup plan. We don't have a different site that we can go to that would be feasible for the community and the citizens of Lincoln Park or Upson County. You know, a lot of times when you think about the community center in Lincoln Park, people tend to think that it's just only for the kids in Lincoln Park, and it's really not. It's for the citizens of Upson County as a whole. We're not asking for you all to come out and say, yeah, this happened and that happened, and we're going to spend $500,000 down there. We're not asking for that. But what we are asking is to find out what are the future plans, you know, going forward. Is anything covered by insurance that may be replaced down there? Will the building be pushed down and start all over again? If so, what is the turnaround time that we may be looking at? And if you all can give us some advice on what we can do for the next 4.5 to 5 months to try to maintain that summer program down there, however we can do it, would be greatly appreciated. You know, it's just, I stand here and like I say, it just sickens me to think about what has happened down there. The whole community is sick about it. You know, we went through a lot of struggles, a lot of them, to get that facility up to par to the place that we wanted it to be. And, you know, it's been working. Think about the summer programs down there, family reunions. With this pandemic going on, we're having all numbers of repasses down there. So it has really served the community and the citizens of Upson County. A lot of citizens was talking about, what about going to the civic center? It's one thing that came up. But of course, everybody cannot take their kids to the civic center. They just don't have the means of transportation to get them there. You know, Lincoln Park was the central location for the people that didn't have the way to get the kids there. It was the central location for them. So all we're asking is just for a fair opportunity to be a part of any decision making that you are planning on doing for the replacement or whatever you do for the Energy Working Convention Center. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Biggs. All right, next, Mr. Berryhill.
I'm William Berryhill. As y'all may know, or
Address.
don't know,
Address.
758 Day Road,
Okay.
Mansfield, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
But my folks on River Bend, it's been a place everybody knows. I just come tonight to ask that the road, something be done on the road situation down there. It's getting in bad shape, and anything that can be done. We just had several customers every weekend complain about the roads and the potholes and stuff, and if it can be fixed, it'd be certainly appreciated. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Berryhill. Okay. That's it for public comments, so we'll move right along. Gentlemen, next on the agenda is the consent agenda. Under the consent is the approval of the January 25th regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion on the consent?
So moved.
Is there a motion made and seconded on the consent? Hearing no discussion, Ms. Jones?
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ellington?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Chairman Allen?
Yes. All right. New business, presentation and update of the Macintosh Trail Community Service Board. Ma'am, if you'd like to come forward.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity to come here and speak with you tonight. My name is Kenyatta Walker. I am the new CEO for Macintosh Trail Community Service Board. So Macintosh Trail is one of the 23 community service boards in the state of Georgia. We are funded, we receive funds from the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities, and we are tasked with providing the mental health, the substance use disorder, and the intellectual developmental disability services for Upson County, as well as 6 other counties. So you guys have done Macintosh Trail great services over the years. We have the Gilmore Center that we provide IDD services from, day treatment through. And we also have the Upson County Counseling Center out on Andrews Drive that is an in-kind donation from the county, and we provide the mental health and substance abuse services through there. Currently, we are seeing actively in services 381 individuals from Upson County in either those programs, or we have what's called a crisis stabilization program. It's an emergency receiving facility for individuals who are in a mental health or substance abuse crisis up in Griffin. So residents of Upson County are able to utilize that facility, and they do. We work very closely with Sheriff Kilgore and his team, and they will transport individuals to Pine Woods that need services. Pine Woods can be used instead of clogging up the emergency room at your hospital here. They can go directly to Pine Woods and get the mental health services or the substance abuse services. So just here I have new flyers and brochures that I will pass out that just kind of give you some more information about Macintosh Trail. We are under new leadership, so I know previous years, I think Macintosh Trail, you guys may have asked for things from previous leadership, budgets and things of that nature, and did not receive it. So new leadership, I have a brand new CFO. So the ties have changed. I have another CPA on staff as well, who's a controller. And we are about the business. We want to have, the respect of all the commissioners in our counties again. And we just want you guys to know that we're here. If we can do anything, we will do it. If you ask for something, we're going to deliver. So I just wanted to kind of put that out and thank you guys for the opportunity. And then the other thing that you guys do for us that's a big deal, you appoint a representative from Upson County to our board every few years. And so that's Mrs. Carla Brown. She's here with us today. Thank you for her. She's definitely a tremendous asset to our board. So thank you. Thank you.
We're blessed to have her.
Thank you guys so much.
So thank you. Well, you run off almost.
Okay, yes.
Anybody got any questions?
Yes. Any questions? Yes.
Any questions? Any comments? Any questions?
Sounds like
Well, I have one.
Okay, yes, sir.
I'm always going to, we've had a lot of, I think most of us have had comments or questions from folks in the community about this perceived homeless, the perception of these folks that we notice in our community we never noticed before that are homeless. I mean, and then we talk about some of a lot of it is that not necessarily homeless, but it's maybe some folks with some mental health issues. I mean, are you seeing a spike in folks from outside the community coming here with mental health issues? Is that why we may be perhaps seeing some folks?
So I'm hearing that. I'm going to all of my commissioners' meetings. And I've been having meetings with all the sheriffs and police chiefs and all that. So I'm hearing that. I just got it last week from Spalding County. They're seeing an influx as well. When folks come to Pinewoods, it's a 30-bed facility. When folks come to Pinewoods, our goal is to get them stable and send them back home. So if they live in Henry County, we send them back home to Henry County. If they live in Thomaston, they come here. If they don't have a home, we don't discharge anyone into homelessness. If they don't have a home, if they have SA issues, we have some long-term substance abuse residential facilities that we work to get them admitted to. If it's mental health issues, we have a few transitional beds that we can place them in while our case managers work to get them long-term housing. So I do recognize and I hear about the influx of homelessness in the communities. Macintosh Trail, if they have mental health issues, we can serve them and work with them and work on getting them placement. Because we have case managers on staff that will help them apply for disability and Medicaid and things of that nature that they need so that we can get them housing resources. Or we can refer them to personal care homes and group homes. So that's how we can help with that.
Okay, well, excuse me for not knowing this, but Pinewood, where is that?
So it used to be for years and years and years, it was in Barnesville, but it moved in 2014 to Griffin. So it's on Griffin, it's on Greenbelt Drive, in Griffin, Greenbelt Drive. It's out 16 going towards Jackson, so it's right before you get to Department of Motor Vehicles area. But like I said, ambulances and sheriffs can take individuals directly to Pinewoods and they don't have to go to the emergency room. If you go to the emergency room that's holding up a space for somebody that really needs it, they have to put them what's called a bed management board and wait for a Pinewoods to pull them down. We can cut out the middleman, not clog up the ERs, and take them straight to Pinewoods. And your sheriff is very aware of that, and he does bring folks to us.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
And we got Mr. Richardson back there, you ambulance guy. So you now know too, if you didn't already.
Yes, bring them to Pinewoods. We have a separate entrance for the ambulances, and you can bring them straight in, no wait time, drop and go. Because we don't want to clog up your time and take up folks' time, because we know people need to be out in the street and in the community.
Great, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all coming. Ms. Carla, thank you for your service.
Yes.
Okay, next, discussion and approval of automatic aid agreement for emergency medical services with Lamar County. And so Jason, you just kind of want to summarize this for us?
Sure, Mr. Chairman, I'd be glad to. So what you have is the same draft that we had in our retreat Thursday. So in essence, what this does is it establishes an automatic aid agreement between us and Lamar County just for EMS. So so what that does is versus mutual aid, where it requires supervisor approval to release a unit, an available unit from here to their jurisdiction. This allows it to be handled at the dispatch level, so a dispatcher can automatically dispatch an available unit from here to there or vice versa. So what this is the final piece in the puzzle for what we call our rural EMS district. So even though Lamar County and Upson County have separate contractual arrangements with AmeriPro, a shared provider, this is the last piece of the puzzle for our independent dispatchers to be able to provide for faster service. So as I was explaining to a representative of the radio, if we have an incident where we need more than the 3 units that we contract AmeriPro to provide, then they're automatically dispatched from Lamar if they're available, and vice versa.
Okay.
It provides for other things. In section 2, it provides some basic guidance for supervision. So if we are dispatching a unit to a scene in Lamar County and there's no supervisor on duty, we have the ability to send our own supervisor until that supervisor is relieved. We discuss very generally about liability, and the liability or personnel failure to respond is just on each individual county. Article 4, so we're saying compensation for this automatic aid agreement is 0. Obviously, we have contractual arrangements with AmeriPro. They pay a certain amount for their 2 units, and we pay a certain amount for our 3 units. The administrator in Lamar and I felt it was best to draft this in a way that it wouldn't have to be rewritten if the nature of our EMS service changed. If we diverged and went with separate providers, or one of us ended up having an in-house service, this would still be applicable. The only other thing I would note is the term, which is in Article 6. So we're asking the board to approve this to expire June 30. Then it'll automatically renew annually with a 90-day termination by notice of either party. So, Mr. Chairman, it's been reviewed and approved by the administrator in Lamar County and their legal, and myself and our legal. So we're recommending approval. I know that their administrator will be recommending approval Thursday at their call meeting. So if there's any other questions as it relates to that, I will take those at this time.
So, no questions. Is there a motion on the staff's recommendation for approval?
Make a motion, we go ahead and approve this
Automatic aid agreement?
automatic aid. I'm trying to scroll back to the top.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
So a motion made by Commissioner Jones, seconded by Commissioner Wilder. Any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, Ms. Jones.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ellington?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Chairman Allen?
Yes. All right. Moving right along. County manager.
Mr. Chairman, out of respect for the commissioner's time, since we did have you commandeered for 8 or 9 hours of solid work a couple days ago, I have one item for tonight. And I'm in receipt of a handwritten thank you note from our local BB team. And it's addressed to y'all. And it says...
Local what team?
Our BB team. Our 4-H rifle team.
Oh, okay.
Rifle team.
There you go.
And it says, "Thank you for allowing us to use our new BB range. We really appreciate you." And it's signed by all the members of the team. So what they're referring to is that, as the board may remember from mid last year, we took them out of the old facility that was the old range that they had set up in the old gym back here, and when we moved them out to the Forestry Service building that we acquired many years ago. So, and we set up an indoor range for them over there, and they're just wanting to say thank you. So.
What's the age group? Do you know the age group?
I did, because my son was on a similar team, but it's essentially mostly middle schoolers.
Yep.
And I'm glad to see by the number of signatures on here that the team has grown. So, yeah. something near and dear to my heart. My son participated on the BB team when he was younger, so, and it's really an outstanding activity, and I'm really glad to see it's growing. And of course, anytime when you're in government and you get a thank you letter, it's something special. So. And that is all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Jessica, you have anything for us?
I don't have anything.
Mr. English?
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Wilder?
I just want to comment, and I want to echo the same sentiments that Mr. Biggs relayed to us about the MG GM. I too am saddened about what happened out there, and they really did a number on it, and it's a facility that served a lot of people, not only just Lincoln Park, and it was pretty much destroyed. And I'd like to make a plea to anybody that may have any information that can identify who did it. I would love for them to make mention of it. And we'd like to make sure that nothing like that happens again. But it is sad that they did so much damage to a piece of property that was used by so many. I'd like to see somebody come forward and put a finger on somebody that come in and tear up a facility that is used by the neighborhood and so many. That's pretty much it, what I would have to say.
Okay, and if it's okay with everybody, I mean, I think several of us probably have comments on that. So while we're talking about that, does anybody have anything else they'd like to add regarding that? I mean, Mr. Wilder kind of summed it up. Is there anything anybody else like to add while we're talking about that? Because you know I do. So, y'all.
Well, the only thing I want to say is I hope they catch whoever did it, because it's a disaster. I mean, it's a shame that people want to destroy other people's, government, anybody else's property. You know, I don't want to see them go to the chain gang or anything, but I'd like to see, you know, somebody have a talk with them. That's it.
And the only thing I'd like to add, I mean, yeah, I same thing. I mean, I'm highly confident that the sheriff and his folks will figure out, you know, at some point, people can't keep secrets forever. At some point, we'll figure out who did it, and then they'll be handled appropriately. But, you know, this is another thing that just kind of highlights the challenge that we have in some areas, not to single out the Lincoln Park area, but some of our other areas is, you know, we have got to pay attention to what, you know, we've gone down there and taken care of some code issues. We've knocked down some dilapidated properties, but, you know, there's a lot more work that needs to be done down there. You know, we just talked about we're paving 4 roads down there this year. You know, there's a lot of people that live down there, and they don't deserve this. They don't deserve to see people walking down the road in the middle of the day with alcoholic beverages in their hands with no consequence, it seems like. You know, riding up and down the roads out there. I mean, it's a well-known issue that, you know, in that whole area out there in the park and outside the park, that we've got folks on motorcycles and ATVs that are riding around. You just ride out through some of those roads, ride down Davis Lake Road. At the end of Davis Lake Road, you can see where people are cutting donuts. So, you know, I just, you know, I encourage our code enforcement folks to be down there, be diligent, be persistent. You know, there's a lot of rental property down there, and those landlords need to be held to the same standard that we would hold anybody. We you know, can't turn a blind eye on a community, and I'm not saying that's happening, but I'm saying from my perspective, I think we can do better. So, you know, but I flip that over to the community and I say, you know, that whole thing, if you see something, say something. If there's something that you're not satisfied with, let somebody know. You know, come to these meetings, tell us, tell our other stakeholders in the community what it is, not necessarily what you need, but what help you need to protect your own community. I ride down there and I see it, and I shake my head, and I don't know. Help us, help you, is what I'm saying. So that I think we all feel that way. There's personal responsibility, and there's community responsibility, and then there's our responsibility. The public safety and the public health and the public welfare of folks that live everywhere in this county. So I'll get off my high horse on that. Mr. Jones, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I got a few things I want to talk about. I won't talk about, but just say, appreciate all y'all that showed up today. I'm gonna miss my friend Gary Self really bad, because I've known Gary since about 1989, and he was one of a kind. He had a view on anything that you wanted to ask him, and if he disagreed with you, it didn't matter. If he liked what you said, it didn't matter. Gary was the same guy every day. He never got mad, and I'm really going to miss the hound out of him. But anyway, I want to appreciate Mayor Pro for trying to take care of our county. Grateful to see the great equipment we got. And I hear you're building a really good team, and I look forward to many more years of progress. This is progress. This is moving us up 30, 40 years. So I'm very happy, and I think everybody else here at the board is too. And that's all I got to say.
Mr. Allen?
Just to piggyback off what he said about Mayor Pro, I'm excited. I'm proud. And I look forward to, that's pretty impressive what we've seen out there. When's the last time we've seen a new bus fully equipped ride to this community, unless it was passing through from somewhere else? I'm excited about that. It seems like we've partnered with a great company that understands our needs and has the means to produce. And so I think the citizens are going to really see the difference kind of right away. And secondly, I too want to mention Gary Self. A lot of people's had a lot of things to say, and I may repeat some of those same things, but Gary was a friend of mine. He wasn't a lifelong friend. As I got involved in government back in about 2013, I knew a different side of Gary. He was my survey guy before then, but then I got to meet the real Gary. He challenged me often. He debated me many, many times, but always, I had great respect for him, because always he would argue with me, debate with me, and challenge me. But at the end of the day, he'd always look me in the eye and tell me he thought I was doing a great job. He gave me lots of encouragement. And we didn't always agree. But if you were friends with Gary, you were friends. He told you how he felt, sometimes in forceful ways. But when that conversation was over, he was your friend. He was your supporter. So he was my friend. He was a support mechanism for me, serving the citizens of Upson County, because he encouraged me a lot. When I felt like I was taking a beating on something, Gary may agree that I needed to take that beating, but he'd always say, keep your head up, you're doing a great job. And, when you're in positions like we find ourselves in, we signed up for it, we volunteered for it, we went out and asked people to put us here. But when you have a citizen like Gary that and I think at some point he encouraged everybody on this board in one way or another. We might not have seen at the time it was encouragement, but it was encouragement. But he's going to be greatly missed. It's strange to tonight look out there and not see Gary, and not come up and make public comments. We all should know his address by heart. But he's going to be greatly missed. This community lost a great person that served this community in many ways. And that's all I got, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Watson?
Yes, a hard one to follow, and not to beat a dead horse, but
It's a good one to beat.
yeah, no, I definitely want to thank the Mayor Pro team. Great job. I mean, the equipment's top notch. You really stepped up, and I think our community's in really good hands. And also, want to thank Mr. Russ and staff. I mean, the window was very short, and I think you did a great job getting us to where we need to be. And I think we have a good solution moving forward. And yeah, Mr. Self, I didn't really know Mr. Self that well, but up here on the board, I got to know him for the past 3 years. And yes, I mean, he was here speaking in front of us, and then we hear what we heard. It was a tough one to swallow. Prayers for his family. That's it.
Okay. And then, I just want to take the opportunity to thank staff. Most of you may know that we had a board retreat last week. A lot of times, and I get asked, and y'all get asked, why you got to go out of town? Why you got to go do these retreats? Well, they're open meetings, and people are welcome to come to them. And I think if you came to one, or you just, paid attention to what was accomplished, and over the next few weeks, you'll see some of the stuff that we talked about and worked on. We really get a lot done when we go sit down and focus on county business, because we all have other lives, and when we have our meetings, a lot of times we catch ourselves looking at the clock, or so these retreats are valuable. I mean, it really gives us the opportunity to strategize and plans and priorities. And so that was the biggest thing with this one, is plans and priorities. We've got several big projects going on, obviously, and then to help staff, not to help staff, but for staff to help us, to make us sit down and talk about, we've got so much going on, what are the priorities? So we walked away with a pretty good plan, and I just want to thank Jessica and staff for making that happen, and our partners with EMC and Parish Construction and IPG that came over, and really looking forward to get moving on our new court facility. I think we made it apparently very clear to everybody that we want that thing going sooner rather than later. So we're pushing ourselves, we're pushing our partners on that, and we want to get it done. So stand by. So thank you for everybody, and thank you for the board here for allowing time in your busy schedules to be there. And then lastly, beat the Gary bandwagon here, but I wouldn't tell people this so much while Gary was with us, but now that he's not with us anymore, I can say, blame Gary for me being here. Gary Self, I got to meet Gary through the VFW, and we shared a lot down there with some really good guys. But Gary pulled me aside several years ago, well, been quite a few years ago now, and said, "We need you to do this." And I was like, first time he said it, I was like, "You've lost your mind." But and we know how persistent he can be. So he finally beat me down. But like everybody has said, when he was our biggest supporter, and he didn't always agree with us. And he had a way of apologizing for himself to you for not agreeing with you, but he'd come right back at you the next day. So we're going to miss him. So, and hopefully we can do something at some point down the road to kind of memorialize the contribution. I was at his funeral the other day. There was a song at the end of it, and I'm having a senior moment, but I can't remember the title of it. I've told all of you about it, but basically the theme of the song is, if not me, then who is going to do this? So I think the best thing for somebody in the community to do to remember Gary is to pick up the ball where he dropped it, where he left off, and I would hope that it wouldn't be just one person. The more Garys that we have in our community, the better our community will be. So with that, is there anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We're adjourned. Thank y'all.
This bank is still
We're still live.
Yeah, well, you've been on the road.
Hey.
This has nothing to do with what you talked about. I was in Atlanta yesterday, out in Roswell, Georgia.
I'm sorry.
And, no, it was good.
Okay.
And I went into this laundromat